3, 2, 1. Yes. Hi, I'm Eli with Nugget Productions, and I'm here with
Elsie Lovelock.
Well, Elsie, would you like to introduce yourself properly, give us some of your roles and just what you're about?
Yeah, so I'm a voice actor and a singer. Some stuff I'm probably best known for is singing voice of Charlie in the Hazbin Hotel pilot, Meggie in the SMG4 series on YouTube, Uzi in Murder Drones, same people who made that, it's an animation. But I've also done lots of video games. I recently had a small role in Boulders Gate 3. I've done Smite, Paladins, Final Fantasy War of the Visions, Chivalry 2, Mord House, honestly so many games. And I also recently got to voice Mimi in the new dubs of the Digimon movies, which was amazing. That was like a childhood dream come true. So
You grew up with Digimon, did you?
yes, I did. I rented that VHS religiously.
What, just come through every Saturday or something? It's like, I must
go to the video store and get the Digimon movie, yeah, and watch it again. I used to watch it with my brother, so like I told him and we were like, ah. So it was really cool.
You mentioned as helping out with Glitch Production with SMG4 with, were you the voice of Meggie in Megs Paradise?
No, so I had my friend, she was voicing her before, and she, for her own career reasons, was like unable to keep doing it, so I took over. I'm not sure how I got cast, because we've got very different voice types, but maybe it was just because they worked with me before. But yeah, they chose me to take over, and it's been really fun ever since.
How does an average day of recording look like for you?
Yeah, so I get up, let my dog out, make something to eat, have my coffee, and then when I'm like all washed my face and all ready, I go into my booth, turn the computer on, and just look at my list and see what needs to be done that day, because it could be anything from doing like different sessions throughout the day, directed, or stuff I need to record by myself. So it just varies from day to day.
Would you say that helping out with Glitch and all their stuff has been a dream? Like, have you been watching SMG4 before then, or was it just something that was very spontaneous?
Yeah, so I've kind of been with them for a while, and they've sort of grown as I've been with them exponentially. So I first got to work with them in Meta Runner, which was season 2. I actually did audition for another character that was going to be at the end of season 1, and I didn't get that. So about a year later, I auditioned for a different character, which is the one I ended up playing. It was much more suited to me, and yeah, it just happened from there. And then I auditioned for Murder Drones and got that as well. And it's been amazing to work with them. They're fantastic. I literally cannot say better things about them. They're brilliant.
Who do you play in Meta Runner?
Meta Runner, I voice Evelyn, who appears in season 2 and is like one of the side villains in the rest of the season. She's horrible.
Yeah, you said you have a minor role in Boulders Gate 3, which came out, I want to say, 2 weeks ago-ish?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, how did that come about?
Right, so Boulders Gate 3 has been in production for about 4 years, probably 5, close to 5 years. And the studio where it was recorded, Pit Stop Productions, I've worked there quite often for other games that I've done in studio. So they know me. And I auditioned for 2 roles which were on camera, like mocap auditions, like self-tape, sorry. So I didn't get those. About a year later, month before the game came out, actually in July, I got this email from my agent, and the project name was What Project was the code name for Boulders Gate 3. So I was like, oh my god, this is Boulders Gate 3. She was like, oh, they need you for like an hour in the studio. And I was like, oh my gosh, this must be Boulders Gate. So I went in, they were like, oh, we really needed this character voice last minute. I think I was probably the last voice actor that they worked with in the entire run. Like, I'm guessing that was the case. So I went in, did this small role, and yeah, I'm in the game.
Boulders Gate is very much heavily based off of Dungeons and Dragons. I take it you're also a massive Dungeons and Dragons fan.
I'm actually not.
Ooh.
So I actually have never done a D&D campaign. I would love to, but I'd like to do
He's giving me the evils over there. I promised him session 0 about 3 months ago.
Oh my gosh, yeah, do your campaign. No, I'd love to, honestly, but it's been something that I want to do in person properly with a good DM and actually experience it properly with people in real life. So I would love to do that, so hopefully that happens one day.
When you were introducing yourself, you mentioned your singing. Is that something you've been doing for longer than voice acting, or does that just come naturally?
Yes, I've been singing since I was about 16. So that's what I was doing before voiceover. I had a YouTube channel for years when I started when I was 16, where I post all my covers. So that's like Disney anime songs, blah blah, and that's how it came about. Got into voiceover from that, really, like did a segue into VO, and it's been my full-time job since 2018.
What songs do you usually sing on there? Is it covers of songs, or do you make your own original stuff as well?
I do covers, so like I usually either find an official instrumental, or back in the day when YouTube was a bit more lenient, I would make my instrumentals, so doing like a vocal remove. I can't really do that anymore, so I either get the instrumental made or I buy it. But yeah, no, it's great. Like, it's helped me so much singing on YouTube. I love it. I haven't done it for a while. I've neglected it. I'm sorry, YouTube channel, but I've just been really busy with voiceover, which has been great. So I'm grateful for any work I get, honestly.
What's your favorite song that you sung on this thing?
Man, I've done loads. I'd say like my villain songs are probably the most popular, and honestly they're my favourite that I've sang. Because villains are great. Who doesn't love a villain? They have the best songs, so probably those ones.
What would a dream role for you be?
I'd love to be in a Resident Evil game. I don't know how feasible that is because a lot of them are mocap these days, and I have done a mocap course, but I don't primarily book mocap work. So that's a pipe dream. But if I was in anything Resident Evil, I would freak out because it's like my favourite franchise. But I would also love to be like a main playable character in a game like Overwatch or Apex Legends, something like that, like a roster character would be amazing as well.
What drew you to voice acting from, singing?
I think it's because it's a perfect amalgamation of being able to act but not needing to be on stage, because I get really bad stage nerves. It's not like I can't do it, but it gets to the point where if I'm feeling this anxious from doing stage stuff, it's probably not the best thing for me. So voiceover is perfect for me because it's like I can still act, but I don't have to be in front of an audience. I'm just in front of the director and the client, and that's fine. And I can still do the acting, which I love.
Have you ever shared a booth with anyone?
Oh, have I? I'm not actually sure. Yes, I have recorded stuff with people before, but it's quite rare. It doesn't usually happen. It usually happens for bigger productions. They'll get you in together. So I actually haven't done a big studio session with actors in a circle or anything like that. But I hope to one day, because that'd be amazing.
Who would be like a complete dream come true sharing a booth with?
Gosh, I have so many. Honestly, like I could be here all day naming voice actors.
Give us like your top five.
Oh god, Jennifer Hale, Erica Limbeck, like some of the old greats like Jim Cummings or Kath Soucie or Tara Strong, anyone like that. But I have met a lot of these people that I grew up with. I did KamehaCon, which is a convention in Texas in May, and I was sat next to Peter Kalamis, who voices Rolf in Ed, Edd n Eddy. And that was like, oh my gosh, because I love that growing up. So just having those experiences. I've also sat in between Steve Blum and Rob Paulson at a convention, which blew my mind. So anything that I can experience like that is amazing.
So I take it that you definitely get very starstruck then?
Oh, absolutely. But I've learned to keep it cool. Back when I was younger, I was very like, oh my gosh, sort of borderline crying. But now it's like if we're all there in the same professional capacity, it's easier for me to go up and be like, hey, it's so nice to meet you, and it's been lovely that everyone is so nice.
Yeah, that definitely a thing with the community that still keeps you here in voice acting.
Absolutely. The voice acting community is very small actually, but everybody is really nice.
And also now with the rising age of all this animation stuff, it's very much a sought after job. Mm-hmm. So what's a piece of advice you'd give to up and coming voice actors?
Remember that it is a job first and foremost. So even though that you're doing voices and stuff, you still want to be good at that job. You want to make sure that your acting skills are good. You want to make sure that you're nice and professional to work with. Treat it like any other job. Like say if you had a plumber, would you go to the plumber that had a 2-star rating and people were leaving bad reviews and complaining about, or would you get a good certified plumber who had a 5-star rating and had good reviews? Do you know what I mean? It's like voice acting is the same. Like people want to work with actors who are on time, professional, nice, kind to everybody, and good at what they do.
Would you say that in-person acting, like you say in front of a camera, is also quite similar to voice acting?
No, it's very different. I would say like when it comes to something like mocap, they can kind of merge, or PCAP, which is performance capture. So that's like your facial capture, like kind of like The Last of Us is like a combination of like PCAP and mocap. But with on-camera jobs, the timings are very different. You have to be on set at like 4 a.m. You have to be in makeup, maybe costume. It's a whole different process. Whereas with voiceover, I could roll into my booth wearing my pajamas and it wouldn't matter.
That sounds oddly specific for something that you're saying it in hypothetical.
Oh no, I've done it before. I've literally worked whole days in my pajamas, and that's one of the best things about this job.
So just to get out of bed, I have a gig. Whoa.
Yeah, I have a session. Oh no, I have to get changed. No, I don't.
And then when you get called for like an in-person thing, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's when I don't wear my pajamas. Otherwise they look at me funny.
I think to finish off quite early here, if you could go back in time and give yourself any piece of advice for yourself, how far back would you be going and what would you like to tell yourself?
I think I'd tell myself to just relax. I still do it a lot as I get very worried about stuff, and I think a lot of the time things work out fine. And I think if I would give myself a piece of advice, it would just be trust in yourself, relax, and you'll get where you're going if you just you know, keep on that path and don't lose focus. And luckily I've ended up exactly where I wanted to, but that's because I didn't lose sight of what I wanted, and I worked through all the tribulations, and now I'm very lucky to work a job that I love, and that's, you know, so fortunate for that.
Sorry to continue on here, but it sounds like something with imposter syndrome kind of guilds into it, because you're there and it's kind of, I could be doing this, but at the same time,
Oh, absolutely. I think there's not an actor alive who hasn't suffered from imposter syndrome, especially doing cons and stuff. But I think the main thing is seeing people actually come up to me and want to meet me. That validates it, you know, and it's so lovely because I used to be on that other side of the table meeting actors. So to be in that position, like when people tell me that I did something that they admired or liked, it just means everything to me. Like that's what I do it for. So
do you still go up to the different people in booths like, oh my god, I'm such a huge fan?
Yeah, every time I go to a convention and I'm guesting with somebody who, you know, is like someone I grew up with or whatever, like I always love to go up to them and just tell them how much I admire them, and they always love to hear it because we're all the same in that regard. We love doing what we do, but it's always lovely to hear that you influence someone or, you know, you've made them happy with your work.
Right, let's spill it here. Was there anyone at this convention who you went up to?
Oh gosh, I mean, I knew Jonah already. Me and Chloe are friends. Me and Reese are friends. Me and Will are friends. I hadn't met Austin before, so obviously like introduced myself, and we all like hang out last night and got dinner, so that was nice. So yeah, it's been awesome.
It's awesome talking to you, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. It's been lovely talking to you.
You too. Thank you so much for the lovely questions.